All right, you are joining us for the infamous, amazing Brunch and Learn session, which you probably heard about on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all the other things, which is rightfully so because it's an amazing program. I'm glad to see all of you here who are here. So, as you know, we have the amazing, amazing, awesome, like I said, I was going to gas her up, Tiffany Haddish here today.
Hi.
And she is our celebrity guest, and that's one of the things that we're doing is we're going to start off with a little pizzazz before we move on to the other stuff, which is just as equally pizzazical. So we also have one of the parents for the Girls for a Change program, Miss Roxanne Saunders, who we're happy to have here and amazed to. We also have a Girl Ambassador participant, Ayana Harden, who we are also amazed to have here, and we love her. Sorry, I'm just throwing that out here. We also have Sister LJ, who, top of the line, I've been emailing her back and forth. The energy she exudes is just unmatched. But we're going to start off with our questions for Sister Tiffany. If you notice, I'm going to call her sister throughout this entire thing. It's just what we do here at Girls for a Change. And I just have a couple questions for her. Let's open it up with the one and only Tiffany Haddish that we all know, love, enjoy, the last Black unicorn, Sister Tiffany.
Right.
So the first question I have for you is you have risen and rose to the ranks of superstardom through a life of hardship. Through your high profile life, how do you stay in touch with your community?
Well, I've never left my community. I stay in the community, and I stay close to my family and my friends and people that are doing things in the community. Like, just because, it's so funny. People are like, oh, you famous, you got new friends now. No, I got the same friends that didn't lose their minds. But they say, oh, the ones that's like, oh, you changed. No, I didn't change. You changed because you thought, oh, she's on this TV show. She's in this movie. I got to talk to her like this. I got to treat her like that. And I'm the same Tiffany. And I have the same purpose that I had before I got famous. And that was to enhance the community I live in by being a part of it.
Wow. That's amazing. I love that ideal and that kind of system where people came up to you and they said their own piece about how they were going to do it, about how you quote unquote changed, with apparently not knowing the real you and how you stuck to your guns, which is just, again, amazing. So
now I'm gonna be honest with you, some things about me did change. Like some things did change. Like my patience level, I have a very high patience level. But if I detect any shenanigans, I'm gonna use the shenanigans word, but I really want to say bull S.
Okay.
If I detect anything, if I smell anything like manure around me, I shut it down super quick. I used to be like, let's see what happens with it. I don't do that no more. Now it's like, something's fishy in the air. It don't smell right. Cut it off. I'm out. And that may be how I've changed. I don't deal with shenanigans. If it don't come through as true, I'm out.
All right. I'm going to need that on a t-shirt. Don't deal with shenanigans over here. I love it. My next question for you is Girl Ambassador is all about this mentor-mentee dynamic. Can you tell us a story about maybe you being mentored or being the mentor?
I would have to say, my drama teacher she was just a drama teacher, right? But to me, she was a mentor because I saw her doing things outside of just drama. Like she did like a decathlon thing. She was always in like Ironman races. Mind you, she was in her late 50s. And then she actually paid attention to me and realized that I couldn't read. Like that I could only read like 3-letter words. And she made me come to her. At first I was irritated. The first week I was irritated with her because she made me come to her classroom every day at lunch. And I don't know if you guys know what nutrition is, but it's like a 15-minute break between classes. And she would have me come during lunch and nutrition and read to her. So I would spend my lunches with her. And at that first week, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty upset about it. But after that, it was 3 months of it and it changed everything. First of all, I could read. I could really read, right? And then she just being in her presence and her encouraging me and her helping me sound out words and sharing her life experiences with me and her ups and downs. It was a tremendous help. And to see her do things that she always wanted to do and actually accomplish them made me believe that no matter how old I am, I'm going to be able to accomplish my goals. Like, it took me till I was 35 to be famous. I never wanted, but in my mind, I never wanted to be famous. I just wanted to be able to step into a room and bring joy to people. And if you ask me, when I did the Arsenio Hall show, I was famous at that point. That's it. In my mind, I did it. That's it. I made it. I don't need nothing else. And everything else that comes is just icing on the cake, you know? And so, but Miss Grieve, my drama teacher, was definitely a mentor to me because she saw me, saw that I needed some help, and gave me that help. And then eventually, almost 20 something years later, you know, I write my book, I do the audio version, and I get nominated for a Grammy for reading. Nominated for a Grammy for reading out loud. Now, in my mind, you only could get a Grammy for singing, and I can't sing. But turns out you can get one for reading. So reading is very fundamental and can pay off in the long run.
You see, I think I'm gonna do this every time you respond with something, because you keep hitting it with some profound. But just for all the people listening to Sister Tiffany's story, that's one of the things here that happens at Girls for Change and happens in society when you find that good mentor. If you are in a place where you're struggling, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, don't let it stop you, because there's someone out there who's willing to help you, and you can always find it in you to help yourself. But there's always someone there who's willing to help you. So if it really becomes a struggle, just Google Girls for a Change, send an email, we'll see what we can do.
Right.
But that was just amazing to hear, just how you not even rose, but how you had that growth. And like, it just came out of nowhere. You didn't even like it at first. You were like, okay, I'm spending my lunches doing what now? And then,
yeah, I gotta spend my lunch with this old lady.
Now here you are, you're spending your life doing this in the Grammy. I'm sorry, I'm just repeating everything. I'm getting straight off your IND page.
Look, but she wrote me, she's, because I gave her a shout out in the interview, like, and I thanked her. In the book too, I talk about her in my book. And she wrote, she's like almost 80 something now. And she wrote me this long letter about how out of all the children she taught over all the years of her teaching career, I was one of the few that she thought, oh, this one might actually appreciate this. Because I started like bringing her lunch, like making her, because I started realizing the enormity of I'm not giving up just my lunch. She's giving up hers too. Mm-hmm. She's giving up her break too, her time too. And she believed in me. Like, just to read though, like not even, like that's such a minor thing, but a huge thing in the big scheme of things, you know. I wish she would have sent me her address so I could send her a gift. Yeah. I would show up at her house.
You would be knock, knock, knock. You want to spend lunch with me again?
Miss Green, can I read you one more thing?
Oh my gosh. It's amazing how people touch us, and sometimes they don't even realize it. And sometimes they do. And they still do it anyways. They're like, I don't care what I have to invest, I'll invest it. And it's just so heartwarming to see that. And I hope other Black girls get the same experience. I really do. I could talk about this all day, but let me move on to the next question because I could literally be here for half an hour.
We will be here for half an hour.
Yeah, we will. Half an hour and some change. Everyone watching, do not stop at the half an hour mark and just log off. Please stay on. But you are no stranger to partnering with nonprofits like Girls for a Change and Living Advantage, if you want to talk a little bit about that. What makes you want to spend your time helping the youth?
Well, because someone helped me when I was a youth. You know, I grew up in foster care, was moved around a lot, and there were pivotal people and organizations that did give me opportunities. You know, my social worker put me in that comedy camp, which changed my whole, like my confidence level, the way I communicate with people. You know, They also put me in a program called Independent Living Program, which taught me how to open up a bank account, how to be in a job interview, how to fill out an application to get my own place to live, how to fill out a job application, how to get car insurance. Just, they taught me basic life skills that maybe your mom would teach you or your dad, but I didn't have that. So they taught me even how to fill out the thing to get my driver's license. Like I had earned the money up to go to driving school, but didn't know how to fill out the thing to take the test for the driver's license.
Oh God.
And they helped me with that. So it's like, so many different people and organizations have come into my existence. And when I was 13 and I was moving around from house to house with my clothes in that trash bag, I said to myself, if I ever get any power, if I ever get anywhere in life, I'm going to try to figure out a way to make sure other kids don't feel like this, because it made me feel like garbage. Just anybody could come and say, it's time for you to go now. And they throw your stuff in the trash bag and move you over to here. And it's just like, wait a minute, I just got comfortable right here, and it really messed with my self-esteem. Even made me feel like nobody wanted or cared about me or loved me. And I just thought, like, I have to figure out a way to like help. So as I got more power, more success, I started teaming up with other organizations that were doing that were figuring out ways to empower youth and figure out ways to show our youth how to be productive citizens, and that they're not garbage, that they're actually beautiful human beings that are needed for this world to operate properly.
I thought the last time I was going to stutter and not know what to say was the question before this and the question before this, but literally every time you say something, I'm just stunned because it's so profound, and everything you're saying is having connection to someone watching here, whether it's a person of power who's watching, who now knows that like what you just said reminds them of something that happened in their youth. It reminds them that they have power, that they can do something right now. Whether it's a young Black girl watching right now who doesn't have the best home situation, if they have something going on in their lives right now, they can know that in the future, even right now, they can do something about it. And just hearing your story about how you did it, and about how when you got to the place where you made sure that you were doing something to help make sure that this didn't happen to anyone else. And I thank you for all the foster kids out there who are probably watching and looking at you as inspiration. Thank you so much for making sure that they don't have to feel that dehumanized ever again.
Yeah, and I want them to know that they can be better than me.
Okay.
I'm just mediocre, okay? If I can get to this level, and today kids have so many more resources, so much more knowledge. You got the internet and all this stuff. I didn't have the internet. I was from the 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the luxury of internet. I had encyclopedias, okay, and barely could read. Now, you guys have all these opportunities, and there is no excuse to say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Like, you can learn anything now, and you can do it better than me. If I can get here, you can go way up past the screen, past the roof. You can do anything, because I'm a buckethead, okay? If a buckethead, like, that's what they used to call me in school, buckethead, because I just have thoughts rattling around. If I can make it to here, you can make it past there. That's what I want people to know. Like, and it's all about work and believing in yourself, period.
All right.
Oh, and you gotta have faith. You gotta believe in God.
Oh.
You need that higher something to boost, to protect.
Okay,
you.
so a little
most
boost,
important.
A little push.
That is most important.
Okay. But yeah, just as Sister Tiffany said, don't just try to be the next Sister Tiffany or the next Sister Beyonce, as much as we love her. Try to be the next you, because the next you is what's really important. That's what's unique in the world. We already have a Sister Tiffany. We already have a Sister Beyonce. We have all of these. We want the next you in the world. And that's why, programs like Girl Ambassador, Girls for a Change, Living Advantage, they help make sure that the person can be the next them, that they can get through whatever rough patch they're in, and, just better society, because we're all capable of doing it. I'm so glad to everyone watching, because I hope you guys know you're capable too. All right, sorry, I just had to go over that little preach there, because everything you say just brings another
Girl,
thing.
you making me want to say 4 more things. Look, if you're going through a rough patch, be grateful for it. Even if it is the most horrible, horrific thing. Be grateful for the opportunity to be able to survive it and share it, because you're going through it for a reason. I've been through a lot of bad stuff, a lot of bad things. And at that moment, I'm like, oh, God hates me. Oh, why is this happening to me? Oh, my life is horrible. And then I exit that horrible situation. Maybe 5, 6 years later, I'm in Hollywood. I'm in this, I'm in that. And I'm able to handle those situations so much better because I've already been through shit. I've already been through the worst thing in the world. So this thing is so easy. Like people say, how do you handle all these people talking bad about you? You were trending because people think you're not funny. They hate your guts. They think you're horrible. How do you handle that? Well, the first person I ever loved was mean to me. My mama was so mean to me. She used to clown me every day, used to beat me up. That was my first bully. Like, can't nobody hurt me the way she did. And I'm grateful to her now. Like at the time, I'm like, this lady, I don't even know why she gave birth to me. She hates me. Why am I even alive? But now, social media, the way that I'm attacked and all these things these people say does not affect me, because I don't know them. I don't love them. And the first person I ever loved, and the person I still to this day love more than myself, trained me for this. Well, all her mean evilness, her jealousy, whatever she was feeling in her heart, prepared me for the internet trolls. So thank you, Mama. That's a shout out to Mom. Thanks. With your mean self. Okay. Now go on. Talk about it. Ask your questions.
Okay. Well, all those internet trolls listening, you heard her. You're nothing. But
hate if you want to, but it don't bother me. You wasting your time because it don't bother me.
Feel like got nothing to do with me. All right. So my next question for you is really just a sum up to having you here and just what we want to hear about you, which is what's next for you with all this COVID happening, past the COVID, with Black Unicorn being right here, last Black Unicorn, all your comedy. What's next for you? What can we expect from you? What can we hope for you?
Well, I got a movie coming out on Netflix called Bad Trip. I got cartoons. I got like 2 cartoons getting ready to come out. I literally been sitting in my dining room recording cartoons. Like, this is not a joke. I work every day. Like, my work ethic is impeccable. Like that's the one thing. You might be funnier than me. You might be more talented than me, but you're not gonna outwork me. You're not gonna outcreate me. I'm creating every day, coming up with things every day. So even, I don't know if you guys saw the Mermaid in the Garden video I've been doing like on YouTube and Instagram. Now they hit me up, can we make this a series? Can we make it a gardening series? Like, so I'm always creating something. And so, and as soon as they release us to work again, as far as making movies and stuff, I got like 4 movies lined up. I got a movie with Billy Crystal that I completed right before all this. That's going to be coming out soon. I'm working on another book, but for Audible, an Audible book that will end up being probably a hardback as well, or a paper copy book. But for right now, it'll be Audible. And then I'm also working on a children's book. Thinking about doing a podcast, but then I don't really want to because I feel like I do a lot. I feel like everybody knows everything about me already. So, but maybe not. But and then or maybe I will. I don't know. And then also, I started a production company, and we got like 8 projects already. I'm bringing back They Ready again. Another season of They Ready. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to put male comics on this time, or just do females again, or do like super veterans that we haven't seen in a long time. They've been ready. I don't know. So working on that. It's a lot of stuff. Potential clothing line, potential hair stuff, makeup stuff. But I don't like wearing makeup, so we might not really venture down there too much. But I do look good in makeup when I decide to put it on, but I don't know. Anyways, a lot. Oh, and I don't know. Do you guys know who FloJo is?
I think so.
FloJo was the fastest. She's still to this day one of the fastest women in the world. Her records have not been broken to this day. She passed away when she was 38 years old. She won many gold medals. And I want to bring that story to the big screen. I want to bring her story. This is a Black woman who was a vegetarian. One of the first, they were saying she got to be on steroids. She just ate right. She was one of the first athletes to say, you know what, I'm going to eat like the animals eat, and I'm going to work my body to the max, and I'm going to be a champion. And she outworked those other track runners and whooped that ass and won the medals. So I want to share her story, and I mean, she did her own nails, her own, like she was popping, okay, popping. If you don't know who FloJo is, check her out. But I want to bring that story to life. So in hopes that happens, I've been like working out every day. I lost 10 pounds. I'm learning how to do the splits. That's just for my spirit. That's just for me. Just something for me. Because I haven't done a split since I was 16 years old. And I'm like, I want to feel young again. So I'm going to work on doing the splits. And I'm almost all the way down to the ground.
Better than me. I swear. I'm not almost all the way down to the ground. I get halfway and I start creaking. But I just want to say thank you. And it sounds like you're working on your next Grammy, just to put it out there in the name of God with that Audible. Could be that. And
and I'm making music. I'm going to a studio today to record another song. Okay. All the music that I make, it goes in my projects that I'm like creating every song. So yeah, I'm making another song today.
Amazing. And then
another project.
When you brought up makeup, I just looked straight at these eyebrows on the last.
Yeah, they don't look like that today. These are the naturals right here.
Yes, they're beautiful though.
These are my quarantine
brows. Mine's non-existent.
They almost touching, but not quite.
But yeah, so we just wanted to thank you for being here. And since you have so many projects, for you to come out and take time out of your day to be here at what? This is, let's see, it's 2:37 our time, which means it's early your time.
11:30. It's 11:37.
It's not that bad, but still.
I woke up at 10:30.
Okay.
I woke up just like this.
But yeah, it's for you to take time out of your truly busy schedule and all the amazing things Girls for a Change can't wait to see, especially the age appropriate stuff that we can take the little ones to. But the oldest stuff we'll take the old people.
Oh, SpongeBob SquarePants. I'm in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. It's coming out next month, I think. Yeah.
Girls for a Change. Oh my God.
Yes, I gotta watch it.
So you are literally doing everything and then some. And we thank you for being here, for also being an activist on top of being literally, I don't know, triple, quadruple, sextillion threat. I don't know. Just all the math in the world. So thank you so much for being here and opening up the conversation. If you would like to stay on, we would love to have you.
I'll stay here. I'm here.
Yes. Okay. We
just let me grab my cup of tea. I'm here.
Okay. We'll be right here. We're going to start with the questions. All right. So if anyone would like to just unmute to just talk about how amazing that first interview was with Sister Tiffany, Sister Roxanne, Sister Ayana, Sister LJ. She was making hands like this the entire time Sister LJ was.
Amazing. Truly outstanding. This woman, Sister Tiffany, is just a trailblazer in many different just aspects, facets, man. She's just a multifaceted, talented, trailblazing queen. It's an honor, seriously an honor to see all the things that she's done, all the things that she's got coming up. You know, excellent job, Sister Genesis, with moderating. You always have these awesome questions. Sister Tiffany, I was just talking you up. We are just blown away, honored. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm blown away with y'all. I love everything you guys are doing. Putting in the work. And that's what I love.
We're trying. All we can do is try.
Ayana?
Oh, yes. I just love Tiffany. She's so inspiring. And hearing her story, how she came from the bottom and she made it. It's just so crazy. I just love what you do. Thank you, Tiffany. You're so inspiring.
Thank you.
Straight from the mouth of a girl ambassador participant right there.
And she look cute. She got her lip glosses popping.
I know.
Earrings like
yes.
Making me think I should
Beautiful.
have worn some lipstick or something. Oh,
I
but
know.
feel
I'm like,
free.
where my cocoa butter at?
All right, so I'm gonna ask a question to Sister LJ to start us off because she was ready to talk. She was like, "Yes, Lord," to everything Sister Tiffany was saying. So,
All the snaps. All
and
of the
we're ready to
snaps.
hear from her. So, Sister LJ, my first question for you is, well, first let me say hello. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad to see you.
Hello,
Specific.
King.
Everyone here at Girls for a Change loves you, specifically our media liaison, Ashley. She's somewhere in the woodworks right now, making sure everything's showing up correctly. But when I tell you, this lady literally loves you so much, and she helped me figure out, what kind of questions I was going to write about you besides the stuff I researched. So this first question is
Yeah.
specifically brought to you by her. She mentioned that you were the go-to person to question when it comes to the digital divide. So for our viewers out there, can you explain the intricacies of the digital divide, specifically the three legs of the stool of digital divide?
Absolutely. So, when we think about the digital divide, you think about the different components, right, that we normally tie to its resolution. But then you have to really start with internet, thinking about the internet. When you think about the internet as it's in and of itself as a fundamental civil rights issue, that transforms the way that you pursue and the way that you engage digital inclusion as a set of resolutions to the ongoing and ever transforming evolution of the digital divide, right? So when we think about the digital divide, we're going to talk about just three quick components of that resolution. So the first one is always going to be the affordable, robust broadband internet service, having access to that. So it's 2020, and the coronavirus pandemic has really accentuated how crucial and how necessary access to a field of affordable, needs-focused, and customer-centric broadband services are to each of us. Broadband is the gateway to the Internet of Things, right? The Internet then is the network of those Internet of Things or those devices. So getting connected is not an option anymore. It's a necessity, and that's why President Obama's urge for the FCC to regulate broadband as a utility was so important several years ago, and I think we still see the ramifications of that move today, right? Internet directly impacts our quality of life. It directly impacts our self-actualization, our opportunity to self-actualize, and broadband has to be affordable, period. It's got to be affordable, and it's got to be within our range of accessibility. So the literal definition, this is how advanced we've gotten when it comes to broadband. The literal definition of resourcefulness has grown to be synonymous with the digital era, or just the internet, because it's all about invention and reinvention nowadays, right?
Yeah.
It means being whoever you want to be and creating whatever you want. What it really means is earning value by buying and selling or flipping online. It means starting with just $15 in your pocket and turning that $15 into $225, right? The second part, or the second component of the digital divide, is the internet capable or the internet enabled devices. So nowadays, we're all thought to have equitable access to the Internet of Things, right, or IoT, which refers to billions of physical devices all around the world that are connecting and sharing all of our data, right? Google amounts of our data. The reality, though, is that only half of the world has access to the internet. When you look at the United States, a little more than 50% of our population has access to high-speed broadband service at home, okay? And with the novel coronavirus, that trend is going downward. Now, families are having to choose between a meal or staying connected. So what does this mean for Black and Brown communities? What does this mean for different types of learners in different age groups? The Internet of Things poses just as many challenges as it does resolutions. And I think that we're becoming less and less human and more extensions of our devices because of the proliferation of these types of technologies without the proper training and without the proper risk assessment, right?
Yeah.
The third one is content. So we often find ways to combat a lot of society's ills, like, what accent you speak in, what color your skin is, what your gender identification is, what your hair texture is, police brutality, and other types of ills, right, that the society has, we combat these things through the Internet of Things. And I think that recently we have a push now for authenticity and vulnerability. So now we're starting to see diversity, right? Like Tiffany is just killing the game. She's got solar offices. Anybody that likes Rick and Morty, real quick, I'm just saying, solar offices is it, okay? But what Sister Tiffany is doing, what you're doing is transforming the game in so many different ways, because we didn't have access. When we think about diversity and inclusion, right? Diversity and inclusion, we think now it starts with technology, because that's the easiest thing that we can access. I can pick up a phone right now, you know, quicker than I can have a place to stay, quicker than I can have access to a clean shower, right? I can have a phone. Because of that, if I'm picking up this device and I'm not able to I can't access content that looks like me, right? Or that has my interest, or that is intriguing to me. That's a divide. That's a divide. That's a divide in access. That's a divide in intellectual capability. That it's a divide in the sense that I can't see myself in the future. So when you have things like cartoons that effectively immortalize, okay, Sister Tiffany and her brilliance and her gift and her comedy, it takes it to the next level. We can see, as African Americans, we can see ourselves in the future in a way that we couldn't before. And that's powerful. Right? In and of itself, that's powerful. That's revolutionary, because when you think about digital inclusion, you think about motivation, you think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When most of us are functioning at that base level, that ground level of just trying to have access, just trying to have food, just trying to have a place to stay, you know, shelter, we're not talking about self-actualization yet. But for so many people who are at the top, they have access to that. They can utilize technologies in ways that they say goes beyond self-actualization. But what about for the rest of us? Where does that leave the rest of us that's at the bottom, at the base of that pyramid, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about the digital divide, those are the types of intricacies that we have to be thinking about. And that's the ways we have to start thinking about how we take technology and leverage it in a way that brings equality in the practice and not just a conversation.
I think that this entire session is just going to be you guys answering so profoundly, and then me being stunned in the background, just not knowing how to say anything, because that's what's happening so far. There's nothing I could possibly say just amazing. And if anyone could tell us about the digital divide, I'm coming to you. Like, that was amazing. And it brought up societal stuff. It brought up, you know, technology things. It brought up one of the real problems that we're facing out here in such a succinct and perfect way. I'm speechless. I really am. But apparently I can talk, but I'm still speechless. I promise.
Thank you, sister.
I'm gonna ask a question to Sister Roxanne Saunders now, who is a Girls for Change parent participant. One of the first ones we've gotten, who I've met her before, and when I tell you she is amazing, I mean magnifique as a parent. So you have the position of being a parent of a Girl Ambassador participant. As a parent, how do you think the program has affected your daughter?
Well, first of all, I would like to say hello, everybody. And Tiffany, I think you're amazing. Hey. To say, when I first found out about For Girls for a Change, it started through Camp Diva, where my daughter Jessica, when she was in the 8th grade, being a working parent, it is hard to find activities where your children can be engrossed and grow while you're working during the summer. Summer, a lost learning during the summer is tremendous, especially in our Black communities, with our youth. So I started doing research on the internet, trying to find a program that Jessica could be involved in and be fun, and she could learn and meet new friends and develop her craft and whatever that may be. So that's how I stumbled across Camp Diva, as well as the Girl Ambassador program. That Angela Patton is the CEO here in Richmond, Virginia. She is amazing. She is phenomenal. And when I heard her speak and things, I was like, I got to get Jessica into this program so she can develop and she can learn and find her voice. It has had a profound effect on Jessica because Jessica was born with what we call achondroplasia. If you do not know what that means, Jessica is a little person. Achondroplasia is a form of dwarfism. When I was pregnant with her and they told me that, you know, you're going to be born with a baby girl that's going to have a lot of challenges and adversities, you know, we don't know what things are going to be for her or how things are going to be. And by me being African American, not knowing of anything, you know, the internet, as you said, Lawan, that, you know, if I hadn't have had access to that to be able to research and find out for myself, because sometimes word of mouth doesn't work when you're hearing it from other people who are not sure. I was able to read and see it for myself and figure out how I can give Jessica the best quality of life. So I made it from that point to know I am not going to let this young lady be limited by anything, you know, just because of her size or her shape. You know, the sky's the limit for her. Just because she's 3'11" doesn't mean she can't reach for the stars. And I've always told her that. So that's what Girls for Change has done for her. It has given her a voice, has made her her own advocate. She loves fashion. She loves drawing. She loves designs. And with everything that Girls for a Change has done for her, it has opened her eyes to what she can do.
You see, I'm speechless every time. I don't even know what to do at this point. That was so amazing to hear from you as a parent, and also knowing Jessica personally and seeing her and just seeing the growth that you talked about. It's just, I mean, it almost brought a tear to my eye. I'm going to be honest, right hand of God. I was about to stop right here on YouTube Live in front of all these people. But thank you so much for saying that and talking about Jessica and talking about her experience. I'm going to come back to you with another question, I promise. But we're going to move on to Ayana. One of my girls, I've met her before. She is, when I tell you she is on fire, I mean it. So my question for Ayana, not only are you a repeat Girl Ambassador participant, but you've also been a part of Girls for a Change since you were in middle school. What, as a youth, attracts you to this program and makes you want to keep coming back?
Well, I just love the opportunities that this program has given me. I don't really know any programs in my area that just focuses on Black girls, giving them the opportunity to help empower and inspire them to, you know, reach their limits, you know, go beyond, try something new, and also do things that, you know, society doesn't think we can do. I just love that it's always given me an opportunity, and I love that I can bring other people and bring other girls so, you know, we could succeed and we could win together. I just love it here. I just really want to thank everyone. You know, the staff is amazing. The other girls, it's just such a great environment to be in.
Yeah, and you've thrived in it. But we'll get to that later. We'll get about your thriving and surviving later. Thank you for saying that, Ayana. We're going to move on to Sister LJ with another question to you. So I have been looking up stuff about you, as I have everyone who is on here. So I found a lot of interesting and amazing stuff about you that just, I mean, I'm obsessed.
What?
I'm obsessed with you. I'm obsessed with everyone on this call in a non-crazy way, I promise. In a past interview, you beautifully mentioned growing with your parents as well as looking up to your father's lessons. How do you think having him as a mentor aided you as a person? And how do you think something like an internship helped aid our girls?
That was a beautiful question. And look, I've been stalking all of y'all too. So it's the love is real and the love is mutual. Okay. So, you know, we had a car accident. And, you know, the car accident is what sort of, it changed all of our lives, but it also changed the way that we lived and loved one another. And, you know, so both of my parents have been exceptional, I think, role models for me in many different ways, you know, in the aspects of what you may not want to mimic, what you may not want to repeat. And then also in those aspects of being like, dang, you really got that together. You know, I really want to make sure that I figure out what that is and, you know, harness it for myself and make it work for myself. So, you know, growing up having them in those capacities has been a privilege of mine and an honor of mine, because I feel like who I am today, what all I'm doing today is because of them, right? So when we were thinking about I wanted to tie it to the topic that we're talking about today, which is about scoring the internship during a pandemic and looking at those internship opportunities. Internships, of course, are those quick resume building opportunities, and they give you the types of experiences that you obviously won't get in the classroom, right? I think with my company and the work that we do, that's so interesting. It's all project management. It doesn't matter what the industry is. We take up clients from all over the place. We take IT projects, we take grant writing projects, we take nonprofit administration, executive leadership projects. We take it all, training, workforce development. We do it all. And so when you come into this context and you get into an internship, it's a quick sort of opportunity. You're going to be dealing with our most immediate oppressing needs. And a lot of times those things are around project management. So you're project managing in a project management firm, right? Organizing everything and making sure that you've got the contracts in line. There's a procurement side of this that, our interns get to learn. They get to learn different contract types. A lot of people end up not succeeding in business because they don't understand contract types, right? Things like that. They also get to learn social media. They get to learn transformational leadership. They get to learn how to really manage their own time and to really manage those relationships and those expectations that they have, right? Like Sister Tiffany was saying earlier, once you start getting into your career, you start getting a little bit more serious, more mature about what you're doing, you start to let go a lot of the negative. If people ain't vibing on your frequency, if they're not bringing you positivity, they're not bringing you love, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. Preach.
I'm just saying, you got to cut them out. There's no space for them for growth. You know what I mean? And I think our interns get to see that. Like you see that firsthand because in our line of business, we get a lot of that rah-rah as well. You get a lot of the bull jive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, you got to be able to say up front, listen, this client they're not going to pay us on time. They're not listening to our professional opinion. They're out here acting reckless. They're making us look bad. It's time to go. The interns get to see that up front and they get to say, you know what, this applies in multiple ways in my life. This ain't just business. This is how I want to conduct myself. And I think that's powerful in and of itself. That's a powerful transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Preach.
you
I like
are
to think
all
of myself
amazing.
like a plant in the garden, and the people that's trying to take away is the weeds. And you got to pull those weeds out the garden because they stealing from you, stealing that good energy so that you can grow. Hello.
Yes. And that's why it's so amazing again, I'm going to relate it back to Girl Ambassador. One of the reasons, like, I don't know if anyone here was able to see one of my previous live streams, but I ranted on and on about how this program doesn't help you become perfect. You are already perfect. It just helps you realize it and helps the world realize it as well. And I think that's one of the things that they're saying when they're talking about positivity. You got to cut out the negativity, but you got to know your worth to know what's negative. And anything that's not there praising you and treating you right, that's a negativity. And you got to know how to do that in your livelihood, in your own personal life, and you'll just succeed. And so I'm glad that we had two powerful people over here. One who was on the Oprah magazine. I don't want her to think I forgot. That's Sister LJ. And so we're going to move on to a question with Sister Roxanne Saunders. Don't think I forgot about any of you. I love you all equally, I promise. All right. So when you were growing up, do you wish you had opportunities like the ones at Girl Ambassador program? What are some of the struggles you had to face without having a community as tight-knit as the one here at Girl Ambassador or Girls for a Change?
Oh my goodness, Genesis. I could go on and on about, yes, I wish I had had such a program growing up. I ain't gonna tell my age right out, but let's just say 30 years ago. If I had had Girls for a Change ambassador program, I would have definitely reached my peak a lot sooner than I did. I always tell my daughters that the road I travel had weaved and bobbed and weaved in it so many times that if I was able to have such a program or something to keep me on the straight and narrow, you know, it wouldn't have taken me as long. I didn't traditionally start, I started college right out of high school, but I didn't finish. And because I've made some errors in judgment, you know, how we get to school. I went to an HBCU and, you know, party school, of course, you know, you're thinking about partying, you get on probation, you know, academic probation, you're not there doing what you're supposed to. So of course, my parents, you know, was like, you got to come home. And my mom, the best advice that she gave me was you need to get a job with benefits and a pension. So guess what? That's what I did. I started working for the Commonwealth of Virginia at the age of 20. And I had to work hard. I had to struggle. I saw my Caucasian counterparts, how, you know, they strived, whether it was straightforward because they were Caucasian or because they had that education and those degrees that I didn't have. You know, I always felt that I wasn't quite worthy. So I always had to work 100 times harder than they did to prove that I could do the job. So then finally, after 10 or 15 years of working, and yes, I was getting promotions, but I wasn't moving up how I wanted to. So then I introduced myself to online learning. So I went back to school to finish my degrees, and I did them online while working full time while caring for 2 children with disabilities. It was not easy. It was hard. So if I had had a program like Girls for a Change, it would have introduced me to internships. It would have introduced me into networking much earlier than I got involved into that. And I would have had much more confidence and ambition to go forth and be able to know that I could succeed in whatever I set my mind to. So that's why I am so thankful that Jessica has this program and the other young ladies who parents have found Girls for a Change to get them involved so they can learn the meaning of communication, learn those soft skills. Those soft skills are so critical. I'm excited about the upcoming Microsoft class that the girls are going to be taking, because that is a critical component in working in today's workforce, whether you're working remotely due to the COVID-19 or whether you're working in the office. You're going to need to know things like Word. You're going to need to know things like Excel, Publisher, Microsoft Teams. You're going to need to know how to be on Zoom, which took me a learning curve. Working remotely and sitting in on teleconference and trying to figure out, oh, my computer this, how do I do this? You know, so all of that. So that is one awesome thing that I know that Angela Patton and Nakira Richardson and the other people that are supporting Girls for a Change is going to bring to our young ladies. They're going to help them succeed in those. You know, I just hope and pray that, you know, I know this pandemic, it has just took us through an unprecedented time during our youth's future. You know, some of them are not as optimistic as they were before this pandemic hit, but I said, don't lose the faith. We're going to get there and we're going to get through this. So if you can find programs, whether it's Girls for a Change or whether it's the program that, you know, Tiffany supports and LaJuan have out there on the West Coast, you know, our children will be okay as long as we keep things like this going. So I definitely so wished I had this when I was growing up.
Oh, wow. So she, again, like I said, you guys leave me speechless all the time. But you know what? She brought up a good point. Girl Ambassador and Girls for a Change is important. And you know what you can do right now? There's a Facebook page over there that has a button that says donate, DONATE. You should press it. And you should just give maybe $1, maybe 5 cents, whatever you have, if you can, to keep this going. Because like I said, all these people are here and they're so passionate about it. What do you think drives that passion for something that's good and that's something that's from the heart? So don't click that donate button yet though. All right, we still have some other questions we're gonna ask. I'm gonna ask one last question for everybody, because I know some of you all like, I'm trying to finish my tea and crumpets. Don't worry. All right, Ayana, I'm gonna you are a young entrepreneur. How did your internship with Sassy Jones inspire you to become your own boss and sell your own products?
Well, this was a dream of mine since I was a young girl, but they always make it seem like, you can only be an entrepreneur once you get to a certain age, once you have, you're financially stable, have certain knowledge under your belt. But one day I just kind of like woke up and I was like, why can't I just do this right now? Life can be too short for some people and they don't ever have that opportunity. So while I was in the Girls Ambassadors program, I was able to start the making of my company. And the Girls Ambassadors program in general was just so helpful. I remember one week I was working on finding some graphic designers to, get a logo made. And we so happened to have a workshop that taught us logo making. I was able to make my own logo. I've been able to do so much through the program. Referring to Sassy Jones, I worked with, if you don't know what Sassy Jones is, it's an award-winning accessory brand that sells confidence. So I really got to see the backgrounds of that company. I know I wanted an online platform, so I really got to see how that works, how to market, doing it through social media. That's one thing I kind of fell in love with. I didn't really know much about, marketing through social media. I worked a lot on that. I was a creative assistant, so I worked with all things creative, from the photo shoots to web design, a whole lot of stuff. And just the staff there was really great. So they were like very helpful, with the internship, sometimes you can work in different departments. So I was able to, try new things every time, and don't be like scared to, be open to trying something, because you don't know like what you're good at. I was able to find so many skills through that internship, things that I never thought I would be doing. And I just love about the program that we focus on technology. That's not a lot of girls, a lot of Black girls are not in technology. It just kind of advances our skill set. So I just love that we focus on technology a lot and just other career paths that you really don't hear Black girls doing.
Wait, hold that thought right there, because I know you want to say more. Sister Tiffany, I know you're supposed to be leaving soon, so I just want a formal thank you from all of us. We're probably all going to say a personal thank you for being here, for opening it, for saying all the amazing things you did. I had amazing conversation with you. I'm sure everyone listening did. Thank you again so much. And we can't wait to see all of those projects you said you're going to do in the future and just promote the heck out of them. So thank you so much for being here.
Just over here trying to create generational wealth for everyone,
Yes.
Everybody that work with me gonna eat. That's all I
All right. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. And it's good to meet all of y'all. It's good to meet all of y'all. And LJ, I'm be hitting you up. Okay.
Let's do it. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, okay. Let's go. Mwah, mwah.
Love you, Tiffany, and keep doing what you're doing. You are so beautiful and you're an inspiration to us all.
Thank you so much.
True Black girl power.
And hey, I'm not perfect, but I'm here. Yes. I'm just trying to open up the doors for everybody so we can just walk on through and do our Black girl power magic thing.
That's right.
Come with it.
Lifting each other up. That's what we have to do.
Yes.
Love you.
We got strong backs. We might as well lift each other up instead of lifting up everybody else.
Okay. That's right.
Don't get me started. We built for this. All right. I'll see y'all later though.
Thank you and take care and God bless.
All right. God bless.
Everybody else stay on. All right. Just because Tiffany left, she stayed for way longer than all y'all who are watching. All right. Stay on, because Sister Ayana is still talking. And you know what? I don't think you guys heard me earlier, but I said she's a young entrepreneur. So how'd that come about, Sister Ayana? Tell us a little bit about your business. Please add a plug so people can go to your website and give you money.
Yes, I'm the owner of Ayana Monet Essentials. You can find me on Instagram at IMO Essentials. And I also have a website, www.ayanamonetessentials.com. I advocate for young girls, giving them, showing them that they can do anything. It doesn't matter age, age is just a number. You can strive to do what you want to do in life. Far as back to the internship piece, oh my God, Girls for Change is just so amazing. I've also been able to travel with Girls for Change, which has been very fortunate. I've been able to go to LA, Atlanta, and New York with them, and they've been very supportive of my business. I've been able to take my products to LA, advocate and advertise and network with different people. I just love how they just really just give us opportunities and put us in places that Black girls are not in. We don't go to big high companies. We don't go here and go there. I just love that it just gives us that opportunity. It's the opportunity.
Whew. Again, I love how every one of you brought up the difference between access and opportunity, how you can have these things, but being able to use them to your advantage is where it's at. And just hearing how your experience was, like, I went to LA with you. When I say you thrived and thrived some more in there, and just seeing your business and seeing, where you've come from being an intern to where you are now, it's just amazing. And knowing that you're coming back, you're like, I don't care that I just own my business. I want to keep doing Girl Ambassador Program, because Girl Ambassador Program taught me something invaluable, something that we all need to learn. So thank you so much for doing that. And thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna ask a question to Sister LJ and then Sister Roxanne, and I'm gonna close it out. Okay, so everyone stay there, keep watching, just eat your tea and crumpets. So Sister LJ, before I even get into the question, I saw you writing down Sister Ayana's information. You're like, I'm going to check her
I
out.
did.
So
Here it is. I
everyone
already went and followed her.
Okay, everyone who's listening should go do that. Give Sister Ayana some love. She's here on her, what is it? It's Tuesday doing this. So you have your own business, Sister LJ. You are the owner and principal consultant of Tacit Growth Strategies, LLC. I was hoping you could tell us not only about your business, but what makes an attractive hiring candidate. Do you think having participated in a program like Girl Ambassadors can give a boost to our girls' resumes?
Thank you, Genesis. Yes, I am always looking for us to hire new consultants and new interns that can really help us scale a lot of the work that we have going on. So we've got contracts with the problem-solving courts. We've got contracts with workforce development training. We've got construction projects. We've got grant writing projects. We've got IT projects. We've got nonprofit and for-profit business contracts. We've got all types of contracts floating around. And, a lot of times what I think it causes a bit of friction is that the work that I do is professional services. It's not, your typical product-based business. What we're doing is quite literally built on my reputation.
Oh.
You know what I mean? My reputation of work, of, who I've worked for in my previous years and all that experience that I'm bringing to the private sector, packaged as a consultant, right, through Tacit Growth Strategies. And so there's so much risk. People like me can't be risk averse. There's always risk involved in everything that we do. Every time we take on a new contract, there's a new level of risk that we accept, right? And sometimes I hire interns and new consultants to mitigate risk.
Okay.
Sometimes, right? Other times, it's not such a hostile environment. It's a little, it's less chaotic, and people can just kind of come in and help me with the data, or help me with the analysis, or help me with the cost benefits and, return on investment. It just depends on what the project calls for.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for giving us a little advice to all the people watching. Sorry if you guys could hear that. There's an emergency. But so I just wanted to say thank you so much for saying that, because I know some people are like, I'm listening to Sister LJ talk, and all I'm thinking is, how can I become a part of that? And there you go. Well, my last question is for Sister Jess. I almost called you your daughter's name. I'm so sorry. For Sister Roxanne Saunders, I want to ask you, if you could do this all over again for Jessica, would you?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And not only would I do it over for Jessica, but along the way, I feel like, you know what? We always need to make sure that we take care of home first. And I say that to say not only Jessica, but Jessica has girlfriends and friends at school. So I have also made a point to let those mothers know, whether we're at PTAs, whether we're just going out for a girls' night, I say, hey, Jessica's involved in this program. I think so-and-so, for example, Miss Brianna, one of her girlfriends, that we introduced the program to. I know that you guys have the same aspirations to work in fashion or to work in education or do whatever, that this is a good stepping stone for you. I think that the soft skills and things that you're going to learn, you would love. So, hey, come check it out. If I get invited to a parents' night to find out what the program is, I pass it on.
Yeah.
Because it does no good. Jessica will succeed from it. But it's not fair if we don't pass on the information to our other sisters and brothers out there who children need the same thing. That's how programs like this go. Just as much as the program out there, the program needs participants. You know, it's no program without the participants. So I definitely pass it on. So if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. I would enroll her hands down.
Oh, wow. Well, I just want to, that is a perfect way to end this, I guess. I just want to thank you all for being here and on this call. And if there's any closing remarks you want to give or any last things you want to say, I do want to encourage, now that we're towards the end, that if you were procrastinating on hitting that donate button, you should do it, because we always love to see someone hit the donate. Whether it's leave a comment and tell other people to donate, like Sister Roxanne told, or bringing other people into the program. All of this is important, and all of this leads to the same thing that we need, which is the success of our girls. That's what it really comes down to, and that's what all of this is about. So if there are any closing remarks that you guys want to say, any last words for Girls for a Change, a Girl Ambassador, I'm opening the floor to any of you.
I would
go ahead,
Go.
Sister Luan.
Okay, I would just say diversity and inclusion is such an important action item for all of us, especially those of us who are in positions of power at tech companies and tech spaces. I try to make sure that whatever I do for my company, that the representation for those individuals and those populations that we consider and deem marginalized or underrepresented, that I am not trying to carry that load on my own. And I think that we see that in a lot of tech spaces. Just because you're Black doesn't mean that you can speak for all Black people. Stop trying to do that. Bring in other types of individuals. Get yourself some folks from Cameroon, from Jamaica, from Guyana, from wherever they may be from throughout the world. Get that representation in place so that you have different perspectives, you have different vantage points, you have different access. You want to have gateway. That's what we talked about, broadband being the gateway to the internet. You need to have the people. The people are the gateway, right? To equity, to equality, to inclusion, to meaningfulness, to purposeful quality lives, right? So I think we need to do that. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram at Growth is Tacit. And Growth is Tacit actually is the @ for me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So make sure you follow me and buy my book, Earned Value Formula Pocketbook and Guide.
All right. So, Sister Roxanne, you want to say something? It's on you right now.
I just wanted to say thank you for asking me to participate today. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would do whatever I have to do to continue to promote, give Girls for a Change Ambassador Program a voice. I believe in what I do. I work with nonprofits. I work with national service and things, and helping to build them up. We need this more than ever, because I don't want our girls to feel like that they don't have a future, that this pandemic or anything else, whatever they're going through, will limit them. This is an excellent program. Again, thank you again. And God bless the program. And I want to keep it going, and I want to see it flourish even more, way beyond what it is now.
Oh, wow. All right, Ayana, you want to close it out as our girl?
Yes, I just want to say thank you to Girls for a Change for all they have done during this pandemic. They have still been working with us. They just found a way to make it work. They have lent us computers, and now we're still able to do the program, still able to get internships. And I just want to say thank you. And to all the other girls out there, considering like, should I be a part of this program? Just try it. Trust me, it changed my life. It turned it completely around, turned my friend's life around. I just really encourage girls to be a part of this program.
All right. Well, you heard it right there. And if you want us to continue doing things like that, please go ahead and donate. And thank you so much for watching this Lunch and Learn series. Thank you to all our guests for being here. It was amazing having you, and it was amazing to have our viewers watching. Thank you so much. I will see you guys next week. Different time, but same place. Bye.
Thank you, sisters.
No problem. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.